as Archie and the other victim, like a paper cut, no blood. That's what it's taking.
Did you not say on the recording that it had spark? Your gadget suggests it is still nearby, but I cannot see it.
Hi. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. No one cares, but I recently dyed my hair, literally yesterday. And so if you look real close, you can see it's all orangey gingery at the top now. It has no relevance to this video, I just wanted to show it off. So I am doing my first Big Finish YouTube review. On my old blog, that old chestnut I like to bring up, I reviewed 4 audios. And basically how it works is, because I don't have unlimited funds, I will just review whatever the free, not the free, every month Big Finish does this like book club thing where like there's one particular release that's really, really cheap, like £3. So I just get whatever that is, and if it's a month where it's not a Doctor Who release, because I'll be honest, those are the only ones I'm interested in, I shall instead re-review one of the 4 old ones that I reviewed on my blog. Once I've run out of those, so once that happens 4 times, I might just start actually going, you know what, I'll pick one, I'll pay full price, so I'll see what the cheapest ones are. This is a few firsts. It's my first Torchwood related YouTube review, and I've only actually... I remind you, the only series I've actually watched all the way through and like remember is the first one. I've only seen glimpses of 2, 3, and 4. So I only have the first TV series or first season of the TV series to go off of, and my other knowledge of Torchwood in general. So if I like say something and you're like, well, it got explained in episode 206, you know, well, I'm sorry, but what can you do? I've never listened to a Torchwood audio either. I thought this is a pretty good one to start with, because it's like it's set before the TV series, and apart from a bit at the end I'll get into later, it doesn't seem to have much connection with the other ones. I do think there is, like, although they're single releases, there does seem to be like connecting threads between them all, but because this one takes place 100 years before the rest of them, obviously there isn't really anything, I don't think. But then obviously I haven't listened to the other ones, so for all I know, I missed a huge clue to, I don't know, Blatherine, I don't know, let's pick an alien out my arse. Ew, that's disgusting. What do I think of the Victorian age? Well, as you saw from the clip at the beginning of me looking very uninterested, it was a bit boring. It was a bit boring, and the entire audio story consisted of, we are chasing after an alien through various locales in London. And that's about it. Honestly, the only good part of this is like the last 10 minutes. And considering it's about 55 minutes long, that's not great. It's even less than that, actually. That's not great. The opening is real sudden. Like, it just sort of, oh, there you are. I thought it would have been nice because there was Archie and Josephine. Imagine if that's not their names. Archie and Josephine, let's call them that. You get introduced to them being Torchwood members and then almost immediately forgotten about. I feel like if you're going to do this story, I feel like it'd make more sense to actually like do some with the Torchwood team, like rather than having it just be about Jack and Victoria. In person, that's what I would have done. And I did think it was weird that Jack was at the London branch. I didn't really see the reason for that, especially as that's Torchwood 1. So you'd think that's like the main one, the one that's got it locked down. You wouldn't need help from Torchwood 3. But, you know, what was Torchwood 2? This is one of the worst stories overall that I've seen of having to explain everything that's going on verbally. And it's an audio story, I get that. But there are certain moments where it's just so... It went down there, and that's because the story is just made up of the creature went this way. It's just characters going, it went down this alleyway, it's gone this way. Some things are really poorly explained, like when it goes into the tunnels and then they need to stop the train. I didn't even realise. So like I remember doing that interview at the end. There was like, oh, this scene at the train station. I was like, we were at a train station during that scene. Like, I didn't know what was going on. There was a really weird detour. There were so many weird detours. Like when they're chasing this alien, which they've already seen has aged someone like 50 years. They're having a casual chat in the car, which goes on for a long time. It's a long chat in the car at the beginning. They meet that lady with the strawberry ice, and it's like, what? And there were some moments that were good, like the moment at I think that was at the train station when she was talking to the mum about her daughter. That's probably one of the better things. Also, because there was accompanying music. A lot of the scenes in here have absolutely no music, and especially the one in the car. I remember there was like no background noise when they were chatting in the car. There was like nothing. So it really pulled me out because I was like, it's just people speaking. There is no noise of the car going. There is no birds tweeting. There's no cobbles. There's no nothing. Like Phantasmagoria, which is set around that kind of period, but that Phantasmagoria really, I felt really part of it. Although Phantasmagoria isn't an amazing story, I really was like, oh, I'm immersed in it. I believe that this story is taking place here. In the Victorian age, I was just like, no, you're in a recording studio. One of the reasons I was looking forward to this release was because I like this time period, and I was like, oh, I want to see a Victorian Torchwood story. That sounds great. I think in series 2, possibly, they do have flashbacks to the Victorian-ish period, I think. But it's not like a whole episode, and I was like, oh, great, finally get to see it. Yeah, so that was it was disappointing in that aspect. The creature was a cool idea. I like that the creature isn't named, it's just a creature. And I like the idea that it sort of sucks youth out of people, and I kind of like the idea that it's like osmosis, like it's high concentration to low concentration. So if if it meets someone older who's got less youth, instead of it sucking the youth out of it, the older people suck it out of the creature. It's not, oh, I'm gonna suck the life out of those people. It seems like a natural thing the creature does, like without wanting to. Like when it scratches someone or touches someone, that's just the reaction that happens. I think is a great idea of a creature. I think the description of it sounds quite cool. And it was one of the few times I think they did it quite well, of having the audio recording of sort of Jack's examination. John Barrowman was quite good. I think he did his better work in the second half of the story. And I think of all the actors, he was the most, like, it sounded the weirdest for him, as in, like, he wasn't part of the episode. Like, you could tell. What I'm trying to say here, if you told me that he recorded his lines out, not with the rest of the cast, which I have no idea if that's what happened or not, then I'd be like, yeah, that's how it sounds like it. It sounds like he is not with the rest of the cast when he's recording the lines. So, I can't remember how you say her name. Rowena Cooper. So she played Queen Victoria. She had quite a different performance from Pauline Collins, who played her in Tooth and Claw, and made like a cameo in Empress of Mars as a painting. And I will just say that is one of my favourite cameo appearances, because it doesn't infringe on people who haven't watched Tooth and Claw, and it's also just such a lovely continuity thing of being like, yeah, make the Victoria from this universe look like the Victoria from an episode. Sorry, just thought I'd put that out there. It's a different portrayal. This one seems a bit more fun, and I feel like the Victoria in Tooth and Claw would have genuinely like left Jack for dead to the creature once she discovered he was an alien. Like, because the doctor like saved her life, and she was like, I don't care, mate, you're banished. So, and I felt like she seemed really likable. I feel like if there was an episode of Doctor Who and this is how they portray Queen Victoria, if Tooth and Claw didn't exist, I'd be like, oh yeah, cool, great. But it is just because it is inconsistent with that. And they don't, you know, maybe if it's like, oh, I know, the 8th Doctor meets Queen Victoria, I don't know, that'd be fine. But because it's literally a Torchwood release, and Tooth and Claw is about the foundation of Torchwood, I feel like it's really important that the two performances are like, make sense together. It's interesting, because I was really worried. I was like, oh, maybe Pauline Collins has passed away, because she didn't play Victoria in this. She hasn't. I guess she is Oscar nominated, so she might be quite a bit of a bomb to get to do it, and maybe she just doesn't want to do it. But I don't know, I just think it's interesting. I don't know if, oh, scratch my ear. I don't know if they tried to get her and they couldn't. or if they were just like, nah, let's not even bother, let's cast someone new. I don't know. This story's just a bit boring. Again, I've said it, it's just going from place to place to place. Like, nothing in it is terrible. Like, it's not a fear her. Fear her is like my scale of what when something's bad. It's not a fear her, but it's also not great. The ending with the creature, and it's like, oh, maybe Jack believes that someone had like wanted to use it to get some more life. And that's interesting. I wonder if that's like a little foreshadowing. The trailer for Zone 10 at the end of that story was an amazing trailer. I really want to listen to Zone 10 now. So I've made a mental note again, if I ever have a month where I don't have a discounted one on the book club, and I've already finished reviewing all the stories I own, I might just get Zone 10, because it sounds really cool. Like, this 40-year-old message that turns out to be a message for Toshiko. I'm sold. Also, I just love Toshiko, so if you gave me like 10 Torchwood audios and said pick 3, I'd pick 3 with Toshiko. And maybe Susie Costello, because I think she's interesting. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. If I get to give this a rating, I'd probably give it a 6. It's not offensive. It's not... Even though it's only 0.5 above Praxeus, for anyone who's keeping it on their Series 12 reviews, it isn't as offensive as Praxeus, but it also doesn't have highlights. Because Praxeus does have a couple highlights. Few and far between, but it has a couple. Whereas this is really like, there are decent bits and there are not decent bits. It's not going to have an impact on me. And it also doesn't help that I was really looking forward to listening to this. Well, next month's Big Finish review will be The English Way of Death, which is a novel adaptation, a 4th Doctor novel adaptation. So I'm actually quite looking forward to that. I've got a very varied Big Finish collection right now, because I've got this now I've bought that. I've got the 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th Doctors in my collection. I've got 3 main range releases. I've got an early adventures release. I've got a Torchwood release, and I've got a novel release. Like, I've got all the releases. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. And I hope that whenever I meet everyone at college, they like my new hair. Just kidding, I don't give a fuck.